I could have kept this a secret. I could have gone on and on for
That is crazy to say. I could have kept this a secret, right? And if you look at the top comment, I could have kept lying to you. I could have just lied, you guys. So you should be proud of me. Like, no, that is not how this works. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about Janelle Roner. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that name before, but if you're not familiar with who this is Janelle right here. This is her TikTok profile, which is where I'm pretty sure she's the most popular. 5.2 million followers, and as you can see, easy and delicious recipes and tips, certified macro coach. She makes a lot of videos. She's also a nurse. You know, this is kind of the general vibe of her page, very much so lifestyle, fitness, lifestyle content, nutrition content, stuff like that. But she actually got popular about a few years ago.
make a sandwich.
At the beginning of the pandemic, or not the very beginning, but, you know, around that time, you know, 2020, 2021, where she was doing more keto style content. And this video, for some reason, went super viral, and it is her making a bell pepper sandwich, right? And she goes on to say, like, the title of this, we're not going to watch this video, but you guys can kind of see the idea. Bell pepper sandwiches are still bussin', eat with me. And it's her making literally a sandwich with a bell pepper instead of using bread, right? And so, you know, she had a lot of people that were leaving comments. If you see the top comments, Janelle, please use some bread, right? I literally don't care what kind of bread it is. I'm begging you to buy a loaf. So like, she was popular, but already there was stuff swirling around her, people kind of, you know, giving their opinions, which with the internet, love it or hate it, that's something that happens. So that's kind of the groundwork for what's been going on. But very recently, there has been a much bigger controversy that's caused quite a stir, and that is Janelle has been, people have been claiming that Janelle has been taking a GLP-1 medication behind the back of her followers while selling macros and stuff like that, and basically making it seem that she lost a good amount of weight recently, and that was through her macros and her knowing how to count macros and stuff like that, right? And so there's been quite a controversy about her possibly taking GLP-1s while taking people's money and making it seem that the reason that she was able to lose this weight is because she understands macros so well, and she will teach you how to do the same thing, right? So that's what's been going on recently. But before we get into it, I still want to go over a little bit of her, you know, previous, I don't even know what to call it, like her previous issues that have kind of went on, controversies, right? And so if we go here, this is from 3 years ago, and it says, why I, Janelle Roner, quit the keto diet. I need to start titling my videos, why I, Obese to Beast, am reacting to Amberlynn Reed. But we're not going to go over this entire video. But here she's just kind of talking about the fact that she, you know, did keto for a while, and then she stopped doing it, and she feels better now because she has a nutritionist. But the reason I wanted to show you is, like, this is kind of what she was looking like, right? I don't think that she is overweight by any means. She looks like a perfectly healthy individual. You know, I think there were some comments of people calling her chubby, which I think that definitely messed with her head, right? And that's one of the hardest things when it comes to being an influencer on social media. I think a lot of times people have unrealistic expectations, but the thing why that's dangerous is that can end up really messing with your own head, and you start to really have some really terrible body dysmorphia, which I think leads people to do things that I think are a little over the top and unnecessary, but they have been in this world for so long that all of this stuff feels normal, and they feel like they have to be super crazy thin to be able to have any sort of opinion on health and wellness, right? And so I think that this was a really important thing that happened to Janelle. You know, the fact that she quit keto, and people were saying that looked like she's gained a little bit of weight, and that really affected her a lot. And then that kind of, in my opinion, obviously, I think plays a big role into the current situation and where we are. So now if we fast forward to this month, actually, this is a very, very recent video. This one right here, where she says, part 1, come with me to get Morpheus 8 on my stomach. I've had 2 C-sections, 2 abdominal surgeries to remove cysts on my ovaries, and I've lost weight. And so we're going to go ahead and just watch this TikTok where she's talking about this procedure that she's getting.
Morpheus 8 on my stomach. So Morpheus 8 is a minimally invasive skin treatment for tightening. It is microneedling with radio frequency. Now, I know I'm lean, but this part kind of bugs me a little bit, so we're going to see if we can get it to treat that. This is before. You tell mostly when I lean over. Now, there's nothing wrong with loose skin, but if we can get rid of it, we're going to try. Come with me to...
So, significantly leaner than she was in the previous, why I, Janelle Roner, quit the keto diet, right? And so now this is a video why I, Janelle Roner, am getting Morpheus 8. Okay, I'm sorry. But she's obviously significantly leaner, and that a lot of people were talking about that, right? So if we look at the top comments of that video, it goes on to say, this is an Ozempic body, not no bell peppers. She got y'all fooled. The amount of people who have purchased your plans and are seeing this and feel disappointed that they don't look like this, I am so sorry. She should have been upfront about the Ozempic from the start, right? This is where money from the macros program is going, right? And so these are the comments that people are leaving because they're feeling like they were tricked, right? They're feeling like they were led astray because it wasn't disclosed, right? And again, at this point, it hadn't been disclosed that she was taking a GLP-1, any of that. This is just speculation. And I do want to go over also, this is what she's selling, right? So this is $200 course, which is titled Macros 101. Experience food freedom and change your life. Ready to purchase, scroll all the way down, right? So a good old funnel type beat, which is a very common thing in online sales. But it says, my new Macros 101 coach is now available, or Macros 101 course, I'm still learning how to read, I apologize, is now available for purchase. This will be a big one-time, I don't know why I said big. Okay, I'm adding. I'm making it my own. This will be a one-time purchase, and you will understand everything you need to know as a beginner counting their macros. This course will literally change your life and the way you view food. Creating a balanced lifestyle is so important, and understanding is okay to fit your favorite foods in your lifestyle is key. I went from eating 1,200 calories to 2,200 calories and also actually lost more weight, gained more muscle, completely changed my body composition. I discovered muscles I didn't know I had. I don't really love the way that that's framed. I think I could probably understand maybe what she means by here, but if you are actually eating 1,200 calories and you're not losing weight, there's no way that you start eating 2,200 calories and start losing weight. That's just not how the body works. But again, I'm sure that there's a reason. Usually when people, I'm getting off topic. Usually when people say that, right, I started eating more, what is actually happening, I think I mentioned this in a video recently, but is that for 3 to 4 days out of the week, you are eating 1,200 calories, 1,000 calories. But then those days that you eat over, you don't realize how many calories you're eating on those days that you're eating over. So in reality, your weekly average actually ends up being higher, even though when you switch to eating 2,200 calories every day, you actually are eating 2,200 calories every single day. And so that weekly, average is lower, but that's besides the point. I'm assuming that's what she means here. If she genuinely means that she's eating 1,000 more calories and losing more weight, that's just not possible. Regardless, let's continue. This course is focused on your nutrition. No exercise is required to lose weight, but it is encouraged for your mental and overall health. I agree 100%. You definitely should be working out. Regardless of if you're on a GLP-1, if you are getting weight loss surgery, if you're doing it quote unquote all natural, working out is unbelievably important. Maybe it's not, I think people think, oh, well, if it's not going to help me lose weight faster, then I don't want to do it. That's not the right way to go about things. But whatever. Macros 101, a beginner or a macro class for beginners. Introduction, welcome. For those who may not know me, I share my journey and my journey ditching the diets. And in this first course, I will include my PDF freebies along with my macro coach certification. I don't want to really read all of this, but let's go ahead and say what Macros 101, a beginner's guide to macros. Here's what's included. Intro, 5 lessons and outro video, lose, gain, or maintain weight macro worksheet, 3 sample days, food list, access to a free private Facebook group. I mean, it's not free. You paid $200. Pre-recorded class. That is crazy that you can say it's free. It's not free. What are you talking about? You paid $200 for this. Pre-recorded class that you can work at your own pace, right? And so it is $200. No refunds. That's important. We're going to go over that. No refunds, final sale. One-time payment of $200, no refunds, final sale. Again, this in and of itself is not the worst thing. It feels a little scammy because again, all this information, in my opinion, as someone that is also a certified nutrition coach, right? This is stuff that you can find out for free. That's just the truth. I understand if you want to go somewhere where it makes it easy and all the information is there, you don't have to spend the time. Fair enough. $200 is a little steep in my opinion, but again, people make money to all kinds of ways, and so who am I to judge, right? But this is where things get spicy, okay? Because I know I'm sure you've assumed, probably by the title, let's be real, but you've probably come to the realization that Janelle was in fact on GLP-1 medications while she was losing all of her weight recently, the recent weight. And people had something to say about that. And so did Janelle. And so what we are going to do now is we are going to be going over this video right here that is titled, Let's Talk Therapy, GLP-1, and the Truth About My Recent Weight Loss, right? And so before we get into it, I just want to read the top comment here, which I think literally explains how people feel. Okay, so this is 5 days ago this video was uploaded. The issue isn't about using GLP-1 or seeking help from a doctor for your mental health. No one is upset about that, so please don't use that as cover. The real problem is charging people for a weight loss program while hiding the true reason behind your own weight loss, something you don't even seem to believe in yourself, which is why you turn to medication. You're using people's money, misleading them, and not being honest with yourself either. That's the issue. No one has a problem with others using the medication because they are not selling a false narrative. Okay? And so let's go over what she has to say for herself.
Hi guys, it's Janelle. This is a very hard video for me to record. This is a little different than the content that I share, but I want to have a real, honest conversation. If you've been following me for a while, you know I've tried it all. Keto, macros, workouts, lifestyle shifts, and I have always shared what's worked and what hasn't. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I'm feeling, what's new, what's changed, and I don't want to avoid it. So here goes.
So the reason this feels a little disingenuous is because these comments have existed for a long period of time, right? But I think they've been amplified recently to where she didn't feel that she could actually just not talk about it and it go away, right? It was basically had gotten to the point where you have to address it because not addressing it is silly, right? It's like it's literally taking over every comment section. So at some point you have to address it, right? So I don't know. It feels a little disingenuous where it's like, you guys, I'm going to come on here and be honest because I'm a good person and that's what I do. In reality, it's, you guys, I'm going to be honest because I have to be, because I guess everyone figured out what was going on, right?
Yes, over the last year, I have decided to make some new choices in my health. I started working with a doctor and we did decide to add a GLP-1 to my plan.
Okay, so there's the proof, right? Been working with a doctor and we decided to add a GLP-1 to my plan. Now, okay, this might get me canceled. People might get mad at me. I'm sorry, Janelle. If we look at this previous video of the keto thing where people were even saying you look chubby or whatever, right? This is not someone, in my opinion, that I think should be using a GLP-1 medication. I don't think it's necessary. Like losing 10 to 15 pounds, I feel like that is overuse of these medications that I think, I want to make it clear, exist and absolutely can help people change and save their life. Like I'm not anti-GLP-1, like at all. But I think there is a time and a place, and I think someone like Janelle, there's just no reason for it other than I am on social media. People are leaving mean comments. This will be something that will make those comments kind of go away and I can feel good. That in and of itself, even if that's all she did, you know, maybe not the best choice in my opinion, but that's not something that's worth making a video on and, you know, having a bunch of people be upset about. I would say people need to chill out. It is what it is. People can make their decision. But once we start being like, I am a coach and I'm going to charge you for information, and the reason you want this information from me is because you seem to see this journey that I went on, and you are inspired by that, and that inspiration from me has caused you to want to spend money on what I am saying, the information that I have, because clearly I know what I'm talking about because I did it myself, right? That's where it's a problem. It's not a problem if someone wants to take a GLP-1. It's not a problem if someone, like, all of that stuff is different. Where it becomes a problem, and you should be ashamed of yourself, is that you have a responsibility as someone that has millions, right? Millions of people that look up to you, and you are putting this stuff out. Like, I'm getting a little heated, but it makes me frustrated because this is wrong, and you should be called out for it, and you should feel incredibly bad for what you've done. There is a big difference between just taking a GLP-1, not really mentioning it, just, hey, I lost weight, whatever, right? Versus taking a GLP-1, making a ton of videos about your body and how your body's different, and oh my God, look at these macros that I could help you with, and buy my program, and all that. That's where you have to disclose it. Not everyone has to disclose everything they do. Not everyone that's taking a GLP-1 has to disclose it. Not everyone that's getting a weight loss surgery has to disclose it. But once you are in the fat loss space, that is something, in my opinion, that you should disclose. And the fact that you thought you shouldn't is crazy to me. Why would you think that that's not something you should share? That is crazy to me. Seriously, it's wild. Like, it's the same level of, like, if I got loose skin surgery and then posted a ton of pictures of, like, look how my body looks after losing 200 pounds. And people were like, did you get loose skin? And I just didn't mention it. Like, that's just wrong. You're putting false expectations on people, and you are taking money from those people. It's wrong. Okay, let's continue with this video.
GLP-1s are not magic. They don't change your lifestyle.
They're not magic, but they do help. And like, I don't understand why that is like, that's always where people go. They're not magic. Yeah, they're not magic, but clearly they help a lot, and they help a lot of people. So just like, they help, and that is important to disclose. They help. You are no longer just doing it quote unquote naturally, which again, people get upset when I say that, but
overnight. It's just a tool to help. I still had to show up for my meals, track my macros, drink my water, go on walks, do my workouts, everything that I already teach.
That's true, right? But at the same time, it's the same exact thing as when someone that's on, called out for anabolic steroids comes out and is like, I still had to work hard. Yeah, dude, I'm sure you did. But you still were using this other thing that helped, that you should disclose. Especially if you're if you're claiming to be natural, and you're all of that stuff is important.
Each and believe in, it just helped me regain a sense of control. And it's something that I don't want to be ashamed of. And I don't think other women or men who are using this tool should feel ashamed either.
Again, two different things. Just taking a GLP-1 versus what you've done. I think I've explained that a million times.
Because if there's a tool out there that can help with your mental and physical health, you deserve to explore that without feeling guilty or ashamed. After a few months, I had lost the stubborn 10 to 15 pounds. I was happy.
10 to 15 pounds. 10 to 15 pounds. I'm sorry, but I don't know what doctor is out here prescribing a GLP-1 to someone for 10 or 15 pounds. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't understand it, but maybe maybe she's not actually going to a doctor and she's getting a compounded version, which I know the regulations are very different on that. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know for sure, but a doctor actually prescribing that, I don't know, man. Seems a little bizarre to me.
I switched to microdosing for maintenance, and I would maybe, do a microdose once a month. I also paired those new lifestyle changes with something that was a real game changer for me, and I started seeing a therapist regularly. When I started posting back on TikTok in 2020, I never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be where I am now. And with that came so many amazing opportunities. And I am so incredibly, deeply grateful and blessed for the community that I have and the support that I have. But I'll be honest, that opened the door for a lot of criticism. I never imagined my life would be under a microscope and that I would have comments and questions and judgments about everything that I was doing. I'm not perfect and I've never claimed to be. I did share a few years ago that I had been struggling with my mental health, and this is something that was very new for me. I've never, had these challenges in my life before, so I did feel a little lost. It was just something that I had to learn to navigate through. So I started seeing a therapist.
So respectfully, I don't really understand the segue there about like the mental health stuff. I think it sucks that you went through that. It's tough when you get a large following, and this stuff kind of comes out of nowhere. I get it. It's good that you're seeing a therapist. It's good that you're taking that stuff. But again, that doesn't absolve you from the other stuff that is going on. Like, we are not really addressing the issues that people have. And I think that's what a lot of people had issue with this video. It was very like, oh, well, I'm sorry that you're upset, but like my mental health is bad and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just feels like trying to deflect a lot of the blame, right?
Regularly. And after talking with her, we decided to try a medication. I was having a lot of anxiety, some depression, some ADHD symptoms that were really affecting my life. And when I started that medication, I lost an additional 15 pounds, which was completely unexpected. I struggled to share this because these were deep things that I was working through and struggling with therapy, with my doctors. But the reason that I'm sharing it now is because I always promised I'd be real with you guys. And I'm proud of how far
So I've always promised that I would be real with you guys, but she's been taking this GLP-1 for who knows how long and still selling all of these programs, right? Like, come on. You can't have your cake and eat it too here, brother.
I've come. And most importantly, I'm proud that I asked for help. I'm proud that I was feeling a kind of way that I did not know how to navigate. And I reached out to a doctor and I reached out to a therapist. And it's okay to ask for help. So
this is so bizarre, man. Like, to make a video like, hey, I know there's claims of people that feel like I've been, fraudulent and stuff, but I'm really proud of myself for getting help. I don't know. It's just bizarre, right? It really does feel like trying to deflect the criticism and being like, I've just been going through a lot. So I'm really proud. I'm really proud of myself for scamming all of you guys, and just like really taking your money when you had this trust in me. I'm really proud of myself.
whether you're just starting out or on your 10th restart, know this, that you can get there. Your path might look different than mine, and that's totally okay. If you're curious about GLP-1s, about macros, about workouts, lifting weights, I'm here and I'm going to continue to show up and share my story and share my life and what I've learned. And above all, I want this to be a space where we can talk about the whole story, not just the highlight reel. But I'm going to be totally honest. If this video is not for you and you feel like leaving a hurtful, hateful comment, please don't. I'm not really in any space to handle that. This is just me being honest and telling my story.
I mean, I understand the sentiment, but that's just not how this stuff works. You can't just be like, please don't share how you feel. And if you're disappointed in me, because it will hurt my feelings. Like, it's just not how it really works, right?
So if this video is not for you, please just scroll on by. So thank you for being here and giving me the space to grow.
So there you guys go. That's the original Let's Talk Therapy GLP-1 and my truth about my recent weight loss. But I'm sure you are not surprised things get worse, because she ended up, which I think it is interesting that she uploaded this video, right? She uploads this video to her YouTube channel, which has, not 69. Hey, nice. 69.3 thousand subscribers. And which, isn't nothing. But there was quite a lot of backlash, and she ended up responding finally on her TikTok, which has a much bigger audience, right? And this is a response to someone typing in one of her videos. This was a comment. Girl, if you want sympathy, you better start giving some people their money back, like from the time you started the meds, right? And so people are asking for refunds, and this is her response to that, where she kind of mentions that original video that we had just watched, right? So this was uploaded 5 days ago, okay? So this is a response. The way I see it is a response to the response of this original video where the comments were not kind to her, right?
Asking for sympathy. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to be honest now. I could have kept this a secret. I could have gone on and on for...
That is crazy to say. I could have kept this a secret, right? And if you look at the top comment, I could have kept lying to you, right? Like, it's... bizarre. I could have just lied, you guys, so you should be proud of me. Like, no, that is not how this works. That, like,
years and not told, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that influencer. I haven't done a shred class since last year because I just didn't feel right about doing it.
So she's saying she hasn't done a shred class. I've did some research. That's basically like a class that she, like a similar thing where it's like there's a Facebook group and, learn about macros, blah, 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 right? So that's kind of what she's talking about there. It was like $99 a month, and, you paid monthly to be part of this like class group type thing, right? And so that's what she's talking about there if you were curious.
I'm just a person, a mom, a wife, a nurse, and I'm trying to balance my personal life and my social media life, and sometimes it just gets hard.
Brother, what are you talking about? Like, struggling to balance, like, what, did you forget you were on a GLP-1 and didn't share it? Like, I don't understand this response. It's just, again, things are just so crazy, and I just forgot. Like, no, come on, let's be real here. Come on, like, you intentionally did not share that because you were afraid of people being upset, right? And like, it's simple, right? It really is simple.
And the internet is such a scary place to be open and vulnerable. And
it's a scary place to be open and vulnerable. I feel like if you have something that you are hiding, if you have something that you're afraid, but like if you're just if you're just being honest and upfront, it's not that bad.
I don't know. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I don't know. I still wholeheartedly believe in tracking macros and the workouts that I do and my classes. I did not take a GLP-1 because I don't believe in my classes and macros wasn't working. I did it for other personal and health reasons to use as a tool to hit my goals. And if people felt deceived by that, I really, truly am sorry. And I am willing to do a refund for any.
So again, this is what's frustrating because it's like it's a narrative is being rewritten right here, right? Where it's like, I just took it because of this. And if you're upset about that, no one... For the most part, I'm sure there'd be a few people, but for the most part, people are not upset about the fact that you took a GLP-1. That's not what the issue is. The issue is you took a GLP-1, didn't disclose it, lost a good amount of weight, continued to sell these programs and plans based on, look at how great my body looks, look at how well this plan is working. That's where the problem is. You were intentionally, from what a lot of people feel, misleading people and taking their money, knowing that the things that you are selling are not the things that you are doing, right? You are doing more. There is more going on behind the scenes that you are not letting people know about. That isn't fair to the people that are spending the money and that trust you. You should be ashamed of yourself. You really should. Like, you should come on here, in my opinion, and be like, I messed up. Not, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry. No, I messed up. I lied. I did this wrong. Take responsibility for what you've done. You're not taking any responsibility here. You are hoping people will hear your plea and forget about it and move on. That's what you're hoping for. That's why in the last video, you said, please don't leave any mean comments. No. That's not how it works. Brother, come on. You're on the internet. You know how it goes. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you should come on here and say, I did something wrong. This is something that I did wrong. Not, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel that. No. You messed up, brother. You messed up.
Anybody who bought a class in the last 11 months. And then going forward, here's the facts. I track macros. I work out a lot. I believe in high protein. I believe in moving your body. And I also use a microdose of GLP-1, maybe once a month. And I am in therapy, and I take an anti-anxiety, antidepressant medication, which has also helped me lose weight. So there's the facts. If you want to stay here and follow my journey and support me, I love you.
So that's the video, right? So she does at least say that she is going to refund people if they ask for that. Again, who knows if that is actually going to happen. I hope that it does happen if people do feel that they were, lied to and they, trusted this program based on what they saw. But that's kind of everything that's going on. As you can tell, I'm a little heated about this stuff because I feel very protective over the weight loss community. Obviously, it's not like the whole weight loss community knows who I am, but I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 12 years. Jesus, Lord above. That's a long time, right? I've been doing this for a long time. And I know the people that have been following me for a long time, a lot of times, and I mean this respectfully, they are ignorant to the facts, right? And they are very vulnerable to being taken advantage of, especially from someone they feel they can relate to, right? If I sat here and started saying, just do this, and it worked for me, I lost 180 pounds doing it. See, and I've been able to keep the weight off for 12 years, and just trust me, people would be like, you know what? I'm going to listen to that because I feel a connection to John, whether you want to call it parasocial or whatever, right? But there's those connections that are formed that are very, very, very easy to take advantage of if you are the influencer or the person that is, at the top of the food chain, which is Janelle here, right? With this whole situation. So this is something when I see this stuff, it frustrates me. It really frustrates me because there is this is the stuff that makes whenever you say, oh, I'm a YouTuber or an influencer, people are like, oh my God, right? Which is fair. I very rarely tell people what I do for a living because it's embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because of stuff like this. So that's everything. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Please help me. But I appreciate you guys so much for being here. If you want to check out the merch, I'm wearing a shirt and a hat. Wow, I'm a freaking loser. You can check that out. It's not $200. And it will be shipped to you in real time, I promise, okay? So if you want to check that out, I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot, as well as there's memberships. If you want to hit subscribe, all that stuff, it helps us out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.